Well, time will tell about that. But Jim, speaking of cartoons, what are your thoughts on the latest cartoon, the news to come out of the recent WWE tapings, live show tapings, whatever you want to call them? Keith Bearcat Lee.
Keith Lee to AEW confirmed whenever his contract is up. What has this guy done? What has this guy done? I'm not sure whether he's pissed Vince off, or even worse for him, whether Vince is taking a personal interest in him. I can't tell these days which that is. They're either punishing him, or elsewise Vince is really interested, and this is exactly what he wants him to do. I know that certainly Vince remembers a black wrestler since Bearcat Wright. Certainly, he's employed at least 3 in the last 50 years. I don't know what to say. They put him in a tennis skirt at one point. They pulled him off television for months, and then of course we found out it was a health issue. But when they put him back on television, he's just another one of the boys, and they beat him as often as not. They've changed his music. They've switched him from one brand to another, and et cetera, et cetera. They are literally are they rolling dice on what his gimmick or name or music or personality, or whether he's a babyface or a heel? Okay, let's see what he's got tonight. We rolled a 7. Let's see. Now he's going to be the second coming of Argentina Rocca. Keith, can you do a cartwheel? What are they doing with this guy?
There's no brain trust over there right now for creative. That's the problem.
You know that nobody on the writing staff would probably know Bearcat Wright if they saw, if they were looking through the police station mug books. They wouldn't be able to pick him out. I guarantee you, even Vince doesn't remember Bearcat Brown.
No way.
But Bearcat Brown got his name from Bearcat Wright.
Right.
That's what I said. What is this, Abbott and Costello? We're not talking about him now. He's on third. So it has to be Vince is the only one that he's old enough to remember seeing Bearcat Wright when he was a kid.
Bruce.
Why would no? There's nothing. Keith Lee doesn't look like Bearcat Wright. Keith Lee does not exhibit any Bearcat Wright vibe. He doesn't even exhibit any Bearcat Brown vibe. Poor Bearcat Brown drew a lot of money in Birmingham, Chattanooga, and points of that nature.
How many weeks away you think we are from Vince just calling him Bobo Lee?
I was about to say, what's next? Either Bobo Lee or fucking Keith Brazil. I don't fucking know. Or just little Bobo. I've seen both Bearcat Wright and Bearcat Brown in person. And Keith Lee doesn't remind me of either one of them. But they might as well fucking cut bait at this point, because this is ridiculous. He's already in his mid-30s, and we talked about that. We said the only drawbacks that I saw to this guy when we started watching him on NXT and said, wow, was that he talked like Fraser Crane, like a college professor. He needed to be a little bit more Hulk smash when he gets pissed off or whatever, and not be so lilting verbally, and kind of dig in and mean it. But otherwise than that, he had the tools, and he just needed to be implemented sometime quick, because in his mid-30s, he's not getting any younger, and let's not waste a lot of time. What I saw a year ago, he was ready to be pushed if you fucking got a grip on it and knew how to accentuate his strengths and not eliminate, but at least, take attention away from some of his weaknesses. You put him on the main roster. Let's see. Instead, they do all the changing we talked about. He got sick. That wasn't his fault. He's out for however long, but there's a classic way to bring him back, if nothing else. sympathy for this guy who's been off television because he was battling the fucking pandemic that's killed all these millions of people worldwide. And now he's coming back to be a professional athlete. Let's make him a babyface, and here we go. But no, then he's goddamn, now he's a heel and he's Bearcat fucking Lee. I mean, again, are they trying to run these people off? Limitless was a lot better than Bearcat Lee. I don't know that it was the greatest thing I've ever heard, but it was new. Nobody else had done it. And it made some sense to him, at least, because I am limitless. He had some shit, some patter to go with it. How's he going to describe himself as a Bearcat? Is he going to start, wow, I'll scratch your eyes out?
You think his music will begin with that? Like, rawr!
Wait, the old Sable
like
music.
Sable's music.
Yes, the roar and the whip.
The whip.
We used to sit in the locker room and go, it should be Mark Marrow's music because he's pussy whipped and fucking Sable's cracking it. So why not send Marrow out to that music? But yeah, I think Sable's music will go along with Bearcat.
Let me ask you a question, not facetiously at all. I really don't know the answer. Who was the last person, in at least the time that we've been paying attention, who's been brought up from NXT and done right?
Damian Priest, kinda?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that would be the only one I could think of.
And really, he's disappeared because they put him on Raw, and we just can't watch that because it's 3 hours.
But Dijakovic had those great matches with Keith Lee. Look at what's happened to both of them. Karrion Kross. We know about what the pitch was for Adam Cole, whether Adam Cole was actually pitched it or not. It was the internal pitch about what was going to be presented to Adam Cole.
Yeah, and by the way, let me clarify something from experience on the creative team in this company. So if everybody else out there in podcast land knows better than me, there's a lot of times that there's creative ideas pitched, even coming from Vince, and the talent doesn't hear them because something else happens and the talent either goes away or plans change. But there are a lot of ideas that the talent never hears and would be absolutely mortified in some cases to hear them that are discussed. So anyway, go ahead. Yes. What the fuck?
And then there's some like layups, like Rex Steiner. I've seen more people in the last day because NXT aired yesterday, and I don't even know if I DVR'd it. I got to check because everyone's saying the show sucks, but he's great.
Yeah.
He looks like Rick, sounds like Scott. So what's his name? Braun Breaker. Fuck, it's so counterproductive, everything they do. And you could argue that Vince has always been this way. Look, Vince has always had success, but Vince has always been fucked up in his own head. And he can't just take the easy layup. The Road Warriors, they got fucked up.
Yeah.
The first time he had Flair in 91.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, but he fucked it up. Could have been done a whole lot better. Almost every single person he brought in that was already fully formed and successful, he fucked up. He can't really get those guys anymore because they don't exist. It's a different world. It's a different business. So now he's just fucking up his own guys. He doesn't know any better.
He's taking them from his own company after they've already been on television on the same network, and he's changing their names and their whole fucking personality and putting them on another show like nobody will notice. And well, remember Vader. Like you said, it's not new. 25 years ago, Vader had not only been the WCW world champion, but a world champion on every continent except, which one's a continent, but not really, Greenland or Iceland? Every continent with people on it.
Yeah.
We're going to make him the Mastodon, pal. What? Call him the Mastodon. And I'm like, Vince, he's every wrestling fan in the world knows his name. Well, we'll start out with the Mastodon Vader, and then slowly we'll phase the Vader out. That was the first, when I heard that I was going to be managing Vader, I also heard I was going to be managing a Mastodon. And Leon did hear about that, and he wasn't any more thrilled than I was. And fortunately, by the time it got to Vince's mind went elsewhere, and We kept Vader. The man they call Vader. They just had to add the preamble to it. But at least we're doing the man they call the Mastodon. And actually, Vince would sit there and this was a quote. And he's done this with other guys. It's something that it's like a talking point that he says to people, but he's saying it to himself also, like it really means something to him. The WWF has never had a mastodon, pal. He'll say that. I mean, I don't know that he said this about, Bastion Booger, but I wouldn't be so, the WWF's never had a booger, pal. He will say that to guys. We've never had a this or we've never had a that. You're the first one. And that was the WWF's never had a mastodon.
Maybe we're looking at this all wrong. Maybe this is all part of an effort to keep Vince sharp, to keep him in the game, thinking about what's going on, and maybe using the name Bearcat will make him remember Keith Lee. Maybe they'll bring up Gorilla Gargano next, and maybe we can get Baron Mikel Ciampa and all these guys with names that Vince will remember so he knows who's on his own show.
But wait, does that mean that Tommaso Ciampa has to move all the way to the Isle of Malta?
He doesn't have to do that, but he has to sell his ear no matter what. Kick to the groin, sell your ear.
But hey, Bull Curry's going to get pissed.
That's right. He mastered that. He invented that.
Yeah, he invented that. Cicluna stole it from Bull. I don't know how to explain what's going on here now, but they are, again, and I mean, Tony Khan is doing everything he can to resist this handoff, but the WWE is handing the wrestling war and the banner of the wrestling business off to AEW. And if they could ever get their own shoelaces untied and fucking just grab the baton, they can run with it. It's like watching a fight where both sides are trying to lose.
Well, Jim, I said it previously, and I think I'm going to say it again here. As much as I like Keith Lee, and as much as I want to see him in a better situation, I don't know what he's going to do. He's under WWE contract I would think for a while now he's going to be there. Perhaps he should look into another profession. Maybe he can learn how to code.
Something to fall back on. That's what you're saying.
Something to fall up on. Something that could be even better than being a WWE independent contracted wrestler.
Well, what in the world could be better than being a WWE independent contracted wrestler named Bearcat? O'Brien Last.
What if you can control your own website like Bearcat.com and you could build it yourself?
You mean our friends at Codecademy?
Of course. I mean our friends at Codecademy.
That's what you mean. Folks, I'll tell you what, the folks at Codecademy are doing God's work, and we can believe that because, as a matter of fact, this is a state-of-the-art company that's using new technology and teaching new technology for the jobs of tomorrow. Rather, if the United States had had technology like this back in 1962, they would have been able to crack that code on the cover of the book that was left at the United Nations, and we would have known that it meant to serve man, which is a cookbook. Because it took the United States Army code breakers, after the Kahnemans had left that book, it took them days to crack the code of what the title was and what the contents of the book was. And that way, a lot of those people got on the spaceship. They would not have done that, ladies and gentlemen, if someone had been able to break that code quicker.
No.
Right, Brian?
Well, I mean, yes, but no. You see, listen, this is not the kind of coding we're talking about, as I've explained to you several times each time we do this spot.
You told me there was the Morse guy's not involved.
No, not involved.
So I figured it had to be something like outer space communication.
And I appreciate you going to that one too, because I was thinking as you were doing that, he could have went to the movie Contact, which I like. You ever see that movie with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, McConaughey? Yes, I did. His father used to work on the old Jackie Gleason show. Hey, Mr. McConaughey.
Did you ever see with Matthew McConaughey? He was on some British talk show with like a couple other actors and actresses. And all of a sudden he starts talking about Mid-South Wrestling. He's like, oh yeah, we used to go there and throw things at Skandar Akbar. All of a sudden in England, of all places, he's talking about his love of Mid-South Wrestling.
Well, isn't he from Louisiana or Texas or somewhere down there like that?
Somewhere down there like that. And you know what? Maybe he would have had an even more successful career than his booming film career and many commercial appearances if Matthew McConaughey had learned how to code.
Oh, we're back to that now.
I didn't know how else to get us back to that. Yes, we're back to that.
After Matthew McConaughey, there's no going back after that. But, folks, if you'd like to go forward, if you would like to have a brand new job, a brand new career, enter the space age. It's too late for me, but you can still be saved. There's never been a better time to become a programmer. And with Codecademy, you can learn to code on your own terms. And if you code your own terms, then you'll have the market cornered. Nobody else will understand them because they're your own terms. Whether you're starting from scratch or looking to advance, Codecademy can help you reach your coding goals. Everyone needs coding goals, and everyone needs to achieve them and reach them. And with Codecademy, learning to code might be the easiest way to change your career. Another way to change your career would be a long prison stretch, and you'd have to find something else to do when you got out. But this is easier. Simply put, Codecademy is the best way to learn code online. They not only teach you job-ready coding skills, but also help you build, or they'll build them for you. Unique projects for your portfolio. You can earn certificates of something and even prep for technical interviews where you'll know what to talk about with the technical people. Folks, get qualified for in-demand jobs in as little as 2 months. Learn at your own pace and your own level. That might be easy for me to say, but not you. Choose what to learn, from building websites to analyzing data and everything else you could want. I'd like a cheeseburger, please. Learn coding languages, including Python, HTML/CSS, SQL, JavaScript, and more. If you're not sure where to begin, like we all are, Codecademy will point you in the right direction. Instant feedback, interactive platform, other words, and loud noises. Folks, land your dream job in web development, programming, computer science, data science, and tons more stuff that I won't read now because the words are strange and they're frightening to me. Join the millions. Stop it. Join the millions of people learning to code with Codecademy. See where coding can take you. It's taken me way off the beaten path. And get 15% off your Codecademy Pro membership when you go to Codecademy.com and use the promo code EXPERIENCE. I'll spell a lot of these words. Experience. EXP. Shut up. EXPRIENCE. Codecademy.com is C. What?
You spelled it wrong. I think you left out an E.
EXPERIENCE.
The second E, I think you left out last time.
Well, I put it in there now. And Codecademy.com is CODECADEMY.com. Codecademy.com. The promo code EXPERIENCE. Get 15% off. Whatever, I don't know what that would be, but you'll find out. It's the best way to learn to code. Codecademy.com. Promo code EXPERIENCE. You'll be shooting rockets off to the moon with the code that you'll learn here. Loud noises.
Loud, very loud.